Just about everyone has seen the classic James Cameron movie Titanic at this point, am I right? I still remember watching it on VHS, where you needed to put in the first VHS, and when that's done, you gotta put in the second one, and then rewinding that was a hassle. Well, I guess, you know what, it's an older movie than I thought, and maybe a lot of you guys, a lot of the younger audience on this channel, maybe a lot of you guys haven't seen it. Let me know in the comment section below if you've seen the movie Titanic. I know it's a very long one. Hey, what is happening, you guys? I am back. Where the heck have I been? Well, I'm still filming in my basement because COVID-19 is stopping us from filming at the studio, and I've been dealing with a lot going on right now. COVID-19, I found out, is in my grandma's nursing home, and she doesn't have it, I don't think, but there's a massive breakout there. I got lots on my mind. I'm told that my grandma is not gonna make it too much longer. So I've been dealing with a lot. I'm trying to keep afloat for you guys. I'm still trying to create content, amazing content for you guys. It's just when I film, because I'm so passionate about this, when I film, I want to bring the energy. I don't want to bring the negativity. So I took a little bit of time off, about a week or two, and dealing with business side of things, and dealing with a very close family member, dealing with cancer, stage 4. So lots going on right now, but I'm back. I'm in a better mind space. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to take the time off, and I love every single one of you guys. I missed you guys so damn much, so I'm like, I need to film. I can't be away from the most amazing fans for too long, so I'm back. All right, with that being said, let's get right into this one. This is a top 10 scary Titanic urban legends that might be true. So kicking things off just like that, and at number 10 is The Wreck of the Titan. A book published nearly 15 years before the sinking of the Titanic might have actually predicted its fate. Well, this book was named Wreck of the Titan after it had a name change. Well, it mentioned a ship that was the largest one to exist at the time and was deemed unsinkable. Sound familiar? Yeah, I think so. Well, in the book, the ship hit an iceberg and sank, killing a large number of people due to a shortage of lifeboats. Sounds a little bit familiar, right? Well, next up on this list, and at number 9, is the curse. One legend claims that the Titanic was cursed. Well, on an account that it was being built by Protestants instead of Catholics, the Titan was in fact built in Belfast, Ireland, which had a large number of Protestants and a few Catholics, which made the chances of hiring a Catholic slimmer. But a lot of the press twisted this story, implying that the manufacturers were vehemently anti-Catholics, and the White Star Line's practice of not christening their ships placed a curse upon them. So religion has a lot to do with this one. And at number 8, we have a coal fire sank the ship. I know this theory has been going around for many years. Well, a newer theory states that a coal fire was actually responsible for the sinking of the ship. So why are we talking about this iceberg? And that's what wreaked havoc to the structure. Well, experts say that the coal fire, which actually did happen, but many say that it wasn't the cause of the sinking of the Titanic. Well, it was known long before the Titanic set sail. So the fire was happening and then the Titanic set sail. But for some reason, there was no concern about the fire. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one. So let's move right along. And at number 7, we have sacrificial sinking. Another legend says that the Titanic was actually sacrificed by the crew because after it was built, it was expected that you would end up losing the company money. So you kind of know where I'm going with this one. People who defended this theory back it up by arguing that since the crew received a warning of icebergs, yet continued to go north instead of going south out of their path, then this is why the speculations are saying then they might have intended to sink it. They were going right to the icebergs. Number 6 is actually one of the more popular theories on this list about the Titanic. It states that the Titanic never sank. Yeah, you heard that right. A lot of people don't even believe this. It's almost like the moon landing theory. There's speculations on both sides. And you know what? I've heard compelling arguments on both sides. I think the moon landing happened. Let me know if you guys think, and let me know if you guys think the Titanic never sank. Sound off in the comment section below. Well, some people claim that it never sank. That's not to say that they don't believe a ship sank. They just think it was another ship, the Olympic. Apparently, the Olympic was scheduled to be repaired after it was damaged, but the White Star Lines couldn't justify the price. Instead, they swapped it out with the Titanic, knowing that it would sink on the way, and then they'll be able to collect the Titanic's insurance money money instead. Honestly, out of all these theories, this one may not sound too far-fetched. All right, number 5 is the Egyptian curse. Okay, so part of this urban legend has already been disproven. Allegedly, this one states that on board the Titanic, there was an ancient Egyptian mummy that was cursed. Legend has it that it has already brought traumas to its previous handlers, including a loss of loved ones, loss of money, loss of life. Apparently, there was somebody in the US who wanted to buy it, but on the faithful trip overseas, the mummy cursed the Titanic and caused it to sink. So it was no iceberg, it was no fire, it was actually this mummy. Apparently, there was no proof that it was ever on the Titanic though, so this was quickly debunked. The mummy is sitting in a British museum, so if it was on board the Titanic, wouldn't it have sank with it? Next up, number 4 is the captain caused even more deaths than necessary. Despite a lot of people praising Captain Smith as being a hero during the sinking of the Titanic, he was directly responsible for a lot more people dying than necessary. More accurately, the captain knowingly left a lot of the seats in the lifeboats vacant, sometimes filling boats with a 65-person capacity with fewer than 30 people. So what is going on there? Yeah, it's true that there weren't enough lifeboats for the amount of people on board, but it's more than likely that if he ordered for these boats to be filled to capacity, a lot more people would have survived. Our number 3 spot is all about class inequality. This is one myth that was heavily popularized by the James Cameron movie Titanic, and a scene that depicted the third-class passengers being locked below deck to prevent them from taking up room on the lifeboats. While they weren't technically locked downstairs in real life, it was incredibly difficult for them to get above deck. They had to make their way through a labyrinth of halls and staircases, and some of these exits were blocked off. There were also no lifeboats on the third deck class decks, just the first and second class decks. It seems to me, and let me know if you guys can dispute this one, but is this ship designed for only the wealthy to survive in case of a crash? And at number 2, there's a legend that claims that men dressed as women to con their way onto lifeboats. So this one is pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. We all saw the movie, they took women and kids first. We saw some men trying to jump on. If this was me, I would fight to survive, so I would try to dress as a woman to try to get on that boat. You gotta fight for survival. When the Titanic was sinking, women and children were the first to be boarded on, well, leaving men to just wait behind, and for somehow they were going to swim to shore, swim to an island, be saved. Okay, let's be honest here. Let's not sugarcoat this. They were just left to die on the ship. Well, some men allegedly worked their way around this rule by dressing up as women and getting in the lifeboats in disguise. And at number 1 goes to time traveling tourists. The theory of time travel has existed pretty much forever, and some people think that it's a result of some big moments in history. I wish I could time travel to the early 2019 and tell people about this COVID-19 virus and a way to avoid it, and maybe having it contained in the city that it started, so we can avoid this global pandemic. Well, going back to this urban legend claims that a bunch of people from the future decided to use time travel to go check out the Titanic. But there was one problem. They all appeared at the same time, and okay, I know it gets a little bit crazy with this one, but because they appeared all at the same time, they added weight to the ship. I mean, all these new passengers weren't accounted for, and that's how the ship sank. This is probably one of the most far-fetched things that I've ever heard, and I'm just gonna debunk it now and say, no, time travel doesn't exist, so how can this be possible? Well, there you guys have it. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. That was the top 10 scary Titanic urban legends that might be true. I mean, everything on this list could be plausible. Who are we to rule anything out? Well, even though this happened over 100 years ago, we may never know all the secrets that went along with the Titanic itself. Well, I've been your host for this one, Landon Dalletsing, and I will see you guys very, very soon in the next most amazing top 10 video.